Right now on 10 News at 11.
Health officials are calling for a pause of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine after reports of 6 patients getting blood clots.
There's going to be more folks that maybe we're on the cusp of having that vaccination. Not going to do it now.
How this will impact our most hard-hit communities in San Diego County.
Businesses are starting to make a comeback with San Diego County in the orange tier. But there's a new problem, hiring employees back.
They're not coming in at all, and they're not even applying. I mean, it's been just nerve-wracking.
How one local nonprofit is helping the hiring dilemma while changing lives.
Plus another night of protests following the resignation of the officer who shot and killed a black man in Minneapolis.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
We've got a lot of confidence building conversations to do, certainly not the shelters.
The pause on the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine could have an impact on the homeless community here in San Diego. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Federal health officials say the side effects in question are considered very rare, but they are serious. Our ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo shows us how homeless advocates feel those already skeptical of getting vaccinated could now choose to skip the shot altogether.
The risk is about 1 in a million, but advocates say even that low risk is a major setback in creating trust that the vaccine is safe. The one-shot dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine was seen by homeless advocates as an easier way to get the most underserved protection from COVID-19.
It would have helped us a lot. We have folks there that sometimes they're not around, 3 weeks later or a month later to get that second shot.
But now the CDC and FDA's pause on the J&J shot has community advocates concerned.
Just to hear any negative spin on this, I can already see the challenge on our side of the house.
A challenge for people like Bob McElroy, president of the Alpha Project, hoping to convince the homeless that the vaccine side effects are extremely rare.
Bad news travels a lot faster than good news, and I just see it's going to be more difficult for us because people are going to say, aha, I told you so.
The pause on vaccinations done out of an abundance of caution after health officials say 6 women developed a potentially dangerous blood clot within 2 weeks of getting the vaccine. 1 woman died. More than 6.8 million doses of the shot have been given out across the country. The risk, essentially 1 in a million.
The risk of being struck by lightning is 1 in 500,000. So this is just actually half the risk of being struck by lightning.
In early March, the county set aside 1,000 J&J shots for homeless individuals. McElroy hoping if and when vaccinations resume, those at the shelters will take it.
I'm not looking forward to it, but we're just going to have to get down and just have conversations with people every day and try and build the trust factor.
Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
Now, despite the pause, most San Diegans still think the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is safe. This is according to our latest ABC 10 News poll conducted by Survey USA. We spoke with 500 San Diegans, and over half think the J&J vaccine is safe, with 12% saying it's very safe, 40% saying it's mostly safe, 20% polled think it's mostly unsafe, and 13% think it's very unsafe. 15% of San Diegans say they're not sure about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
A man wanted for 2 recent shootings in San Diego is dead after being killed by police inside a dumpster at San Diego High School. ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer Kastner talked to one of the people shot by Christopher Marquez in the past month.
That bounty hunter told me it's unfortunate this ended with a death, but that officers did what they had to do to keep the hostage alive. Tuesday, dozens of police officers were seen surrounding San Diego High School, where Christopher Marquez was shot to death by 2 SWAT officers who feared for the safety of a woman who he was holed up with in a dumpster.
I am glad that he is not a risk to the public anymore.
Tuesday, we spoke to Agent Clark, the bounty hunter who was shot by Marquez in March. He was serving him a warrant in Chula Vista when Marquez reportedly opened fire, striking Agent Clark, who is still suffering.
I was shot in the left leg and in the right bicep. I do have nightmares a lot. I do have problems sleeping.
Tuesday's deadly standoff started Monday night with a chase. National City Police said they spotted Marquez riding in a woman's car, but when they tried to pull them over, they took off, leading a high-speed pursuit through Point Loma and eventually downtown. 3 times they said Marquez fired at officers, the 3rd time downtown, where an officer fired back. The woman and Marquez, who was believed to be armed, jumped into a dumpster on the high school campus, where they remained for hours. SWAT officers and negotiators were called in. SDPD said she tried to escape, but he wouldn't let her.
She began screaming and begging for the male not to shoot her and not to do this. 2 officers saw the male push the female towards the ground, and they could see a rifle being brought up, prompting them both to fire their weapons.
Use of deadly force had been authorized, and he was shot to death around 9 a.m. The woman is reportedly uninjured. Police said that just last week, Marquez shot at National City officers and ran off after they pulled him over, believing his car was stolen. The search to arrest him ending Tuesday morning. And police said it's not yet known whether the woman who was involved will face any charges. Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
The police officer who shot and killed an unarmed black man near Minneapolis has resigned. Now, Kim Potter is expected to be criminally charged in Dante Wright's death. The Washington County attorney says more details will come tomorrow. The Brooklyn Center chief of police, he's also stepped down. Wright's family says they object to the explanation that Potter meant to use her taser on Wright, instead grabbing her gun by mistake.
I cannot accept that. I lost my son. He's never coming back. This is an officer that's been on the force for 26 years. I can't accept that.
In the meantime, more than 50 arrests were made during a second night of protest in Minneapolis and Brooklyn Center.
The prime suspect in the 1996 murder of a California college student was finally arrested today. Paul Flores was taken into custody in San Pedro for the death of Kristen Smart. The Cal Poly San Luis Obispo student disappeared 25 years ago. Flores, who was a fellow student at the time, said he walked Smart back to her dorm after a party and never saw her again. Authorities are being tight-lipped on the evidence that led to the arrest now.
Forensic physical evidence was located, and yes, we believe it's linked to Kristen. And yes, we did find physical evidence at least 2 homes.
Flores' father was also arrested today as an accessory to murder. Smart's body has never been found.
And everybody's, feeling the same thing. The business is picking up, and they don't have the staff to cover. And so it's been very difficult.
As restaurants reopen, many are having a hard time hiring staff to help meet the customer demand. But as our ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura shows us, a nonprofit group is helping fill the hiring need.
I spoke with Kitchens for Good. They're a nonprofit that helps people with troubled past or complicated circumstances. They say people from their apprenticeship programs are in high demand.
I've been looking to hire for a while now.
Yaqub Abuwath is the executive chef at Bernardo Winery, where they have 3 open positions to fill, and it hasn't been easy.
They're not even applying. I mean, it's been just nerve-wracking because I have to work a lot of hours. My whole staff, my whole team that is currently working, we're all having to put in, those extra hours.
While Abuwath is continuously advertising for their open positions, he says another resource they've turned to is Kitchens for Good, a nonprofit that helps people with troubled pasts or complicated circumstances, getting them ready through apprenticeship programs focused on the food services industry. Bernardo Winery is one of their employer partners in need of staff.
We're getting calls, on a daily basis from restaurants and chefs that are looking for cooks at all levels.
Dennis Crosby is a director of apprenticeship programs for Kitchens for Good. He says it's become clear the pandemic has created staffing issues for the restaurant industry.
A lot of them moved out of the industry, and that left a vacancy. We can definitely support the industry as best we can. We're also in a position right now where we actually have, there are more restaurants out there than we have apprentices for the first time in a while.
He says in some cases, employers are even offering more.
Where people were normally starting at maybe, $12, $13 an hour, we're now seeing folks start at $14, $15, up to $16 an hour.
Abuwath says working with Kitchens for Good has been beneficial in the past. They hope the nonprofit can help find the right person to help the restaurant as business begins to return.
pre-COVID and post-COVID. They're absolutely, they're helping.
Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
The county reported another 278 cases today, while our test positivity rate held at 2%. Another 2 San Diegans have lost their lives to COVID, bringing that total now to just over 3,600.
Parents are putting the pressure on San Diego Unified to reopen in-person learning full-time. A group of parents and students got together tonight to protest the district's partial reopening plan. Yesterday, half of the roughly 100,000 students in the district returned to campus for in-person learning. Under the current plan, students are physically in class either 2 or 4 days of the week. Working parents say that they're still having to juggle not having their kids in school full time. One person at the rally said parents deserve more input on the reopening plan.
We're here because we're expressing the need for parents in the community to have a voice at the table.
Teachers also worry that juggling in-person lessons with online learning will lead to some students falling behind.